Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the delay there. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are squared away now. My name is Kelly Head. I'm the Business Information Librarian at Square One, and I have been doing little demos on our databases to show you how to access business information through them. And today we're going to be looking at how to keep up with industry trends. And we're primarily going to be looking at one database called ABI Inform, but I wanted to walk you through a few of the other places you can get industry reports, just so you're aware of those. However, the first place we're going to start is not on the library website. It's actually going to be a Google search. So we're going to search for, whoops, I'm going to do it in a new tab. And the first one that pops up should be the Census.gov website. So what we're going to do on this website is search for the NAICS code of our business. The NAICS code is a system of classification that the government uses to track different industries so they can compare apples to apples. So each business will have its own NAICS code. It may be a category of business that's at a higher level than you are. So for instance, if you are a tea shop, you may be in drinking establishments. So they classify all of the coffee shops, juice bars, tea shops as drinking establishments. So sometimes you'll have to find a NAICS code that is a little bit more general than the type of business you're in, but it's still a good idea to figure out what the appropriate NAICS code would be for your business. So if you go to this website, you can do a simple keyword search, and it will list all of the different NAICS codes that use that code, or use that keyword, excuse me. So for instance, if you're doing coffee roasting, you can click on this 311920 and learn a little bit about what that code is. So it's grouping it under coffee and tea manufacturing. And it says that this industry comprises establishments primarily engaged in one or more of the following: roasting coffee, manufacturing coffee and tea and concentrates, blending tea, manufacturing herbal tea, manufacturing coffee extracts, flavorings, and syrups. So you can see it covers both coffee and tea, and not only manufacturing them, but also kind of adding finishing touches like blending or roasting, or adding in extracts, that kind of thing. You can also see the other codes that you may use instead. So this is a good place to start when you're doing industry research. We're trying to keep up with industry trends because you can use this code to search our databases. So jot down whatever code is appropriate for your business, and then I'll show you where you can plug it in into our databases. So now we'll go back to the library website, which is mymcpl.org. And if you don't have a library card with us, you can get one online here. Just click on Get a Library Card, fill out the information there, and it will have you verify your email. Once you've done that, it will give you the library card number, and if you write that down, you can use it to get into the databases right away. They'll mail you the physical card in about a week or two, and your PIN number is going to be your birthday, so 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 4-digit year. All of the business databases are going to be under Square One Small Business up at the top, and once you're on our page, if you scroll about 3/4 of the way down, there's a link Browse Resources. Click on that and it'll take you to the list of our business databases. And I always point out, if you want to see all of the databases the library subscribes to, you can click A to Z list up here, or you can click Browse Subjects to look at them listed by subject. The only databases that aren't listed here that you may want to check out are going to be the newspaper databases, and they're going to be under Browse Subjects. So those will cover a lot of industry trends as well. A lot of times newspaper articles do a good job of pointing in industry trends and making that into a digestible article. So we mentioned ABI Inform is a really good source for industry news, and that's where we're going to be spending the bulk of our time this afternoon. But I wanted to show you a few quick and easy access points for industry information. The first of which is going to be Statista. Statista is a wealth of knowledge, focusing primarily on statistics, and they pull their information from government sources, from news or magazine surveys, pretty much anywhere they can get credible information, and they create these graphs that you can download and add to your business plan or your business presentation, or really just if you want to use the data, not the graphs. It's a great source for the data as well. So you can see they have a few different industries listed here. So we could click on food industry just to get a sense for what that looks like. So it's going to pull up some industry statistics and facts, things like the annual sales, who the major competitors are in the market, and some of the consumer behavior in that industry. So those are really good sources for information. You also have under the reports section industry reports that you can browse through, and these are going to be fairly high level industry reports. So for instance, manufacturing food in the US, it doesn't get any more specific, but this will cover trends that affect all food manufacturers. So this is a really nice one to take a look at. The other reports here are also good sources of industry information, but the industry reports specifically have a lot of good stuff that's going to cover trends. So Statista is a good one to keep an eye on. Another one that you may want to check out is the DNB Business Browser. So DNB stands for Dun & Bradstreet. It's a big business news source. They have a lot of great information. So I mentioned you can search based on your NAICS code. So you can type that code in here and it will pull up articles related to your industry. So that's a good place to look for industry news. You can also browse through industry reports if you go to this industry tab and then click industry browse. I like the one source reports a lot, so I would sometimes go directly there and look and see what they have. But they have a really nice selection of reports that you can take a look at, and these will even give you some of the industry ratios. So for different businesses in your industry, depending on their size, what the financial ratios are of assets to the other categories of your finances, which can be really important. And it sounds kind of abstract right now, but this is something that we could walk you through one-on-one in a meeting. So if you are confused by any of this information or it seems overwhelming, we would be happy to set up a one-on-one with you to kind of help digest this information and help you interpret those financial ratios. So DNB Business Browser, another great source for keeping up with industry trends. The last one I'll show you before going into ABI Inform is Business Insights Global. This one also has a lot of good industry reports, and they do both industry essays and industry profiles, so you can browse through those here. Also, they have under the Industries tab 3 different sections of different types of reports that you can browse through. You can also put industry in the drop-down menu here and enter your NAICS code, so you can search based on NAICS code in this database as well. So 3 really good solid sources for industry information in this database as well. But we mentioned keeping up with trends, so what I'm going to show you today is a way for you to set up some alerts using ABI Inform to have the databases email you whenever new articles come in that match your industry or the thing that you're interested in, because that's usually the best way to keep up with something, is to have these alert systems. Otherwise you constantly have to go back into the databases and perform these searches yourself. So letting the database do the work for you is a nice way to keep up with this kind of thing. When you're in ABI Inform, a good place to start is the Browse tab. They're going to have all kinds of industry reports that you can browse through as well here. Another good source for industry information is actually the annual reports of companies. So big publicly traded companies are required by the SEC to file an annual report that will include information that their investors would want to know about. And a lot of times you can get good industry information just by reading those reports, and they'll cover some of the trends that I mentioned. So those are another good source for information. The Publications tab is a great source for information because you can go directly to the trade journals that you may be interested in. So trade journals are a little bit different than popular business magazines like Forbes, because they're going to be specific to different industries. An example of one is called Restaurant Hospitality. It covers the restaurant industry, and all the articles are about the restaurant industry. And it goes into a little bit more depth than a popular news magazine would. So to get to the trade journals, you can go to this source type and then check include trade journals and then exclude all the other ones. And once you've done that, click apply, and then it will list all of the trade journals here. And then if you want to search within here, you can do that by typing in a keyword for the title. So for instance, we could type restaurant and see all of the ones that mention restaurant. So you see there are quite a few: Nation's Restaurant News, Restaurant Business, Restaurant Hospitality, Restaurant Management. So these would all be available for you to browse through. If you click on one of them, you can see the latest issue by clicking the plus button and then clicking on a particular issue, and it will pull up all the articles from that issue. Or you can search within the publication. So let's say you're interested specifically in takeout, and see if they mention anything. You could do a search and it will only pull up articles from that magazine. Or you may just want to browse what articles are published every month or however often it's new issues come out. So you could do that by creating an alert, which I would encourage you to do. So it will ask you to choose an email address to send it to, and then have when they should stop sending alerts to you. And then you'll just create alert. And once you've done that, anytime new articles show up in the database that come from this particular publication, you will see the headlines in your email. It'll send you an email with a link directly to the articles that you can just click on. So I'll do that with a lot of the publications I'm interested in. I do it with the Kansas City Star and a few others. And it's just a good way to kind of keep up with what's being written about your industry. Sometimes you just need to read the headlines to kind of get a sense, but other times you'll want to jump in and read the entire article. So this is a really good way to follow the industry publications that will cover the trends in your industry in more depth. So the last place that you can go for this type of information is going to be under Advanced Search. So under Advanced Search, you can search by NAICS code like we mentioned before, or you can select under document type industry report, and then you can go up and specify, like, let's say coffee, and have it appear in the title. And now it's going to pull up any industry reports that have coffee in the title. And usually I'll sort by most recent first because you kind of want to keep up with the most recent information. So you could do a alert using this particular search as well. So if we go to save search / alert, we can create an alert for this specific search. So now anytime new industry reports come in that mention that have coffee in the title, it will notify us via email. So this is another good way to keep up with industry trends. I said that was last, but actually there's another one that allows you to get really specific in the information you're looking for. So like, let's say you don't necessarily care which publication the information comes from, and you don't care if it's an industry report or just a new, just like a newspaper article or something. A good way to do searches for that kind of information is to use quotations to capture a phrase that you're interested in searching. So let's say with the new social distancing guidelines, curbside pickup is becoming a much more important topic for folks in the restaurant industry, and now the liquor industry actually is starting to do curbside pickup. So let's say you wanted to keep up with articles that mention curbside pickup. You could do a search for curbside pickup and let's say full text so that you only see the articles that you can actually read in this database. And then do a search. And now it will pull up any articles that have mentioned curbside pickup either in the title or in the body of the article. So we could do an alert for this as well, which would be a great way to keep up with any trends that are happening in curbside pickup. So that was a really quick overview of how to get industry information through ABI Inform and through some of the other databases. Really, this is just a teaser for the type of information you can get through the library. We don't expect you to be able to reproduce these searches after seeing them one time. So if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one with me or anybody on the team, you can either reach out to us through Facebook Messenger, or you can email us at square1@mymcpl.org. The last thing I'll say is if you could please post, we're going to post in the comments a link to our survey. If you wouldn't mind filling that out, we greatly appreciate it. We are grant funded, and surveys are a big part of how we get our grant renewed each time. So we really appreciate that. Hope you found this useful today. If you have other topics that you would like us to cover in these database demos, please let us know. I am signing off for today. Hope you have a great weekend.